Good evening. Thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11. I'm Cody Proctor. Mark is off tonight. Let's get started. A windy day across the inland northwest led to trees falling on homes, cars, and power lines. At this hour, more than 4,000 people without power. Kyle Simchuk starts us off on our windstorm coverage. He was on the road in the KREM 2 storm tracker checking out all of the damage.
Well, it seems like those winds have died down a little bit since earlier this afternoon. We saw trees on cars, power lines, and homes, and one very close call up in Meade where 2 people are lucky to be alive.
It's a big, loud boom. I thought, what happened? I couldn't figure it out, and the house kind of shook a little bit.
That loud boom turned out to be a tall pine tree crashing right outside of Patty Batters' door.
Luckily, there were no cars coming down the road, apparently, because I don't see anything underneath it.
Both lanes of Ash Street were blocked near Rowan for nearly 2 hours. Patty's neighbors were the first responders, limbing the tree until city road crews showed up with heavy equipment. Gusty winds knocked this tree onto a home near 16th and Perry. Another tree hit power lines near 8th and Carnahan, sparking a brush fire which was eventually put out. Vista crews were busy throughout the afternoon and evening repairing power lines and even rescuing 2 people in Meade. This white pickup was pulling into a driveway when a tree across the street blew over, bringing a power line down with it, crashing into the bed of this pickup just a few feet from the cab. The 2 people inside were trapped with a dangerous, energized line on top of them. And a Vista worker told KREM 2 crews shut off the line and used chainsaws to free the 2 people inside. Remarkably, they were uninjured, although the tree caused damage to the truck and house. And aside from trees, we also saw some basketball hoops blown down across some residential areas. Chances are if a tree didn't fall in your neighborhood, you probably have quite a few branches to clean up. Reporting in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Kyle, thank you so much. And checking in now some of the damage that was seen at area parks. Take a look at this video where you can see several trees down. A Spokane Parks Department says 4 trees fell at the Downriver Golf Course, while over at Indian Canyon Golf Course, 1 did fall. 2 trees also fell at Manitou Park, with another 2 at Comstock Park, 4 at Coeur d'Alene Park, and 1 in Audubon Park. The downed trees at Coeur d'Alene Park actually ended up smashing the staircase of the gazebo that's located right in the middle of the park. Meanwhile, Spokane's 311 center reports they received about 20 calls related to downed trees in roads throughout the area. And an update now tonight on the power outages that were experienced throughout the region today. At one point, Vista reported as many as 7,000 outages. The good news is that number has dropped. Right now, there are about 117 active power outages across Vista's coverage area. Nearly 4,000 customers are affected by those outages. Meanwhile, people using the Keller ferry to travel across the Columbia River on State Route 21 had to find an alternative route today. The ferry was removed from service because of the high winds. Crews reported winds near 70 miles per hour north of the landing on the Columbia River. Travelers can find any Keller ferry service changes on the Washington State Department of Transportation's travel alerts page or on their Twitter account. In the meantime, we've been talking about the damage from the wind that swept through today, but let's take a look now at our current forecast. After those brutal winds took over most of the inland northwest today, we have Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo joining us now outside in the Outdoor Weather Center, where at one point we had those incredibly gusty conditions. Are the strongest winds now behind us, Jeremy?
Yes, Cody, they are, but the wind is still blowing. You can see my hair kind of blowing around out here on the South Hill. And it's still gusting. Wind out of the west-southwest at 28 miles per hour, gusting to over 30 miles per hour still. So we are not done with it yet, and it likely stays this strong through tomorrow. 35 degrees right now here in Spokane, 36 in Coeur d'Alene, and 37 in Sandpoint, up near 40 in Moses Lake. So temperatures dropping quick. It's going to be a cold one as we get into tomorrow morning, and it's likely it's windy still with sustained winds up around 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to about 25 to 30 miles per hour throughout much of the day tomorrow. So wind is still a contender, but it's also the snow. Up in high elevations, up to 10 inches of snow. Storm total for places like Lookout Pass and over in the Cascades as well. As that cold air starts filtering in, we're going to squeeze out a little more snow, and it is all going to be snow with just how cold it is. Trust me, if you step outside, it's got a bit of a bite. We'll continue to watch that snow come down throughout the day. Tomorrow, that winter weather advisory expires at about 11 a.m., so the heart of that snow comes to an end about then. You're still going to see those scattered showers throughout the afternoon as those temperatures slowly climb. But believe it or not, tomorrow, not going to be the warmest. I do think we get into the 50s, even if barely. And it is going to be barely as we see a mix of clouds and sun tomorrow afternoon.
Jeremy, thank you so much. Get inside where it's a lot warmer now. Now, we are continuing to track the storm throughout the night. For the latest on road closures and power outages, text the word WIND to 509-448-2000. We'll send a link right to your phone. Also, if you have been seeing any damage from the storm in your area, if you're able to do it safely, you can also send us photos and video of what you're seeing to that same number. Now to developing news tonight. Fire crews still battling a wind-fueled wildfire just north of Nespelem. A communications specialist with the Colville tribe says wind gusts toppled power lines and trees. That fire has now reached about 200 acres since this afternoon. Crews currently have the fire 60% contained and hope to have it fully contained by the end of tonight. Now, you may remember last summer, Nespelem was the scene where it was hit hard when wildfires swept through, destroying 7 homes. We'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more. Moving on now to Night Beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Encouraging news for drivers and their wallets. Gas prices in Spokane are dropping. According to Gas Buddy, the average gasoline price fell 2.9 cents per gallon in the last week. Now, the average is still pretty high at $4.28 a gallon. The cheapest station in Spokane is priced at $4.09 yesterday, with the most expensive at $4.59 per gallon. Idaho's average price per gallon sits at $4.41 per gallon. The national average is also trending in the right direction, falling 5.5 cents within the last week.
Staffing has been a concern and something that we've spoken to them about for many, many months, actually starting in conversations back last year, that this would be inevitable if we didn't have a contract in place that would help us attract and retain pilots.
More than 24 Alaska airline flights canceled out of SeaTac Airport today as the 4th day of a pilot shortage creates a travel nightmare for thousands of passengers. Right now, those pilots are in contract negotiations with Alaska Airlines. The 3 big demands from pilots are flexible scheduling, quality of life, and job security. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll share how those cancellations are impacting people heading out on their spring break vacations. North Idaho College received a warning for not having a properly functioning governing board. Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities says North Idaho College has a year to make changes. The problems at the college began last year, prompting the commission to step in to ensure a quality education for students. Moving forward, the college will have several monitoring requirements to make sure the Board of Trustees achieves compliance and restores effective governance. North Idaho will remain accredited. Credits, certificates, and degrees earned at the college will be transferable. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text the word night to 509-448-2000. We'll send them straight to your phone. As construction season continues in the inland Northwest, North Idaho residents and drivers will be seeing some bridge maintenance, new center turn lanes on major roadways, and the completion of the Highway 41 expansion project. The 2022 Idaho construction season features new and continued projects around the state. According to the Idaho Transportation Department, work includes fixing, maintaining, and expanding the capacities of different roads and systems. The IDT's public information officer says drivers should note of upcoming and current projects.
There are lots of changes coming. The bridge work we'll be doing around town will be focusing on some of our older bridges. So a lot of that will just be maintenance, fixing what is already there. When it comes to Highway 41, we're going to be done. You're going to have 4 lanes. When it comes to US 95, you'll have a new center turn lane in Bonner's Ferry. We are also starting the first of a series of projects on Highway 53 west of Ratcham that will also add a center turn lane.
According to the Idaho Transportation Department, the Garwood Bridge also expected to open later this spring. Manufacturing delays pushed the completion of the overpass work from this fall to spring of 2023. Drivers can call 511 as well as use 511's app or website for state construction updates. In health news tonight, Grant County is seeing an increase in flu cases. The county health department currently monitoring a flu outbreak in an assisted living facility. There's also an outbreak among school-age kids and children younger than 5. They're reminding people with the flu they're most contagious in the first 3 to 4 days after the illness begins. A memorial service held today for the Everett police officer killed in the line of duty. Officer Dan Rocha, just 41 years old, was shot and killed by a suspect. He'd been with the department since 2017 and was a member of the Everett community for more than a decade. Rocha is survived by his wife and 2 sons. In the meantime, in other news, a big name just got added to the festival at Sandpoint. Pink Martini, the classical jazz group, features China Forbes on Sunday, July 31st. If you want to check them out, the box office opens at 5 with general admission about $45 before taxes and fees. The music kicks off at 7. The 39th annual festival at Sandpoint runs from July 28th to August 7th. More lineup announcements expected as the festival gets even closer. Don't go to bed just yet. Alaska airline pilots continue to picket for better working conditions. We'll share how that's impacting passengers. We're back in 90 seconds.